Welcome, everyone, to our LinkedIn Live. I'm Bruce Eckfeldt. I'm your moderator and host here. I'm going to do a little intro. I'm going to introduce our guests, and then we're going to get into things. So for those people that are, first of all, for our title, let me talk about what we're going to talk about. So our topic today, or our title today, is Reset in Real Time, Practical Tools to Calm Chaos. I'm excited about this. This is a little different, that we're actually going to go through a couple of tools people can use, practices, exercises people can use to manage themselves in chaotic, stressful situations. I think any business leader that's watching this program has been in stressful business situations, maybe multiple times a day. And these are some really great tools. And I think this topic is really important, that your ability to manage yourself and manage your emotional reactions, creating space to actually be conscious and be intentional about your reactions to things and how you choose to act and how you choose to move forward with things. These are tools that are really going to help you do that, really help create some space in that. So that is our topic. That is what we're going to do. Let me introduce our guests. We have Sarah Travers. She is a leadership coach. She's a former news anchor who brings storytelling and empathy to the forefront of stress management and leadership resilience. Sarah, welcome to the program.
Thanks. I'm excited to be here. Thanks.
Yeah, it's great to have you. And then we have Dr. Christine O'Brien. She is a well-being coach, specializes in somatic tools, neurobiological, that's a tough word, neurobiological approaches to helping leaders stay grounded, stay connected. She's also the author of the book, Total Being Reset, a well-being guide, cultivating heart, mind, body connection for self-kindness. With that, Christine, welcome to the program.
Thank you. I'm so happy to join you.
Yeah, no, it's a pleasure to have you both on. So for people watching, for our audience, if you're live and you're on LinkedIn, if you have questions, comments, go ahead and drop them into the chat, into the notes, comment section. I will watch those and try to weave in any questions and any comments into the program as we go. We're also streaming on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube and you have a comment and question, go to LinkedIn and put it there. I'm not going to be watching YouTube as we go today. If you're watching the replay on either platform or any platform, go ahead and put comments and questions in the comment section on any platform. I'll be watching those over the coming days and weeks, and we'll try to respond to things as things come up. So even if you're watching the replay, go ahead and leave comments and we'll get to them. So with all that, let's get into our topic a little bit. So I think it's really interesting and really important in the sense of, I don't think many leaders think about emotional kind of management and staying regulated and those kind of things, but yet constantly kind of focus or constantly in situations where this happens. I guess, why has this been important for the two of you? Like, why focus on this area? What inspired you? How did you kind of get into this space? I'll let either one of you start.
Well, as a physician, I've been interested in whole health. So in medicine, we divide people into parts, and that's really not how we're made. So I've taught whole health for a number of years, but the last 15 years, I worked at the VA, helping veterans reset and regulate with these, what people would call alternative medicine tools, and saw the power of this learned self-regulation for people who had lived through a lot of stress.
Yeah.
And I also taught these tools at the VA, which is very interesting.
Yeah, that's got to be
business world perspective, because it's, as you said, it's way different than how the military-minded government institution works.
I'm sure. Sarah, and for you, like, how did this come up for you? Where did you get involved in this?
Well, I don't know if you know this, but this is my mom. So I grew up as the guinea pig of whatever new thing she just learned.
Patient number one or patient number zero.
Bring home. And, I can remember doing all of the reset practices that we teach now as a kid growing up, learning those. We are of a big family, so it was a lot of chaos. And it was cool getting those moments of reset and emotional regulation built in. And I think it's all of my siblings are very successful in what they do. And it really shows that it makes a difference.
Yeah, I have 4 children, but my youngest is 7, and we're working on a lot of this stuff. He sees me meditating every morning, so he comes sits next to me and he starts breathing, and it's just really interesting to see. I mean, this applies early in life, right? The ability to understand and recognize and process emotional reactions and regulation, being able to regulate yourself is something you need to be able to do from the beginning. So unfortunately,
And the beauty of what you're doing is that you're mirroring for him
Yeah.
how to be in that state. So he'll just absorb that into his DNA. That's very cool.
That's my hope. I only can try. So let's talk a little bit about what this actually is. And when we talk about emotional state, we talk about regulation, we talk about reset. What are we really talking about from a physiological point of view? Give us a little background on this.
Well, the research is showing that because of the society that we live in, the way the world is moving at such a fast pace, that we're in a stress response all day long.
Yeah.
And that stress response causes a dump in cortisol and a change in what we call our cytokines. So it increases inflammation. And so living in that continuous cortisol, adrenaline, inflammation state really primes us to have a lot of disease processes, especially autoimmune diseases. So we're intended as human beings to live in that stressed state, maybe 5-10% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of the time we should be in parasympathetic vagus nerve activation, which is where they call it rest and digest, but it's really rest and repair. And we're able to recover from those cortisol dumps. And there's a whole slew of chemicals, oxytocin, DHEA, that are produced, even dopamine. Some of these strategies we can become addicted to, which is really good for our health. So we're trying to shift our chemistry.
Yeah.
Cortisol lasts in your system for 12 hours.
Okay.
And these oxytocin, DHEA, adrenaline supplements or neurotransmitters only last 2. So It's really a dosing effect. How can I, every 1 to 2 hours, do a reset practice and get back to that thrive state instead of a threat state? And by doing that, then it becomes habitual and you become addicted to feeling better instead of addicted to feeling like you have to push.
Yeah, I know
which is perfect for the business world.
Yeah, I know a lot of leaders that love to be on the push cycle, and it's tough. It does not only does it not make them effective, but physical damage. I mean, their nervous systems are shot a lot of times. So let's talk a little bit about the practice and that we're going to do, and then we can talk about kind of when to use it and kind of where to use it. But what is this practice, and what is it actually doing from a physiological point of view?
Well, we always start with the breath,
because
the breath is the easiest automatic thing that's happening in your body for you to shift and change. So when we shift into that vagus nerve activation, thrive, we can do that with breath work. We can do it with humming, singing, chanting, dancing. So many things that you think of that were rituals for thousands of years were really things that cultures were doing to be in that thrive vagus nerve activation state. And we've thrown those away. We don't do those, even connecting with other people. So touch, self-touch, all of these things are simple ways that we can reset into thrive and decrease the chaos and confusion. And they all affect our heart. And so we become heart coherent. And with heart coherence, like with my patients, we would sit and do a breath practice or listen to a gong and breathe. And we co-regulate. And then that session with the patient is so much more powerful than if they're mad or I'm still trying to take care of the patient I just saw or whatever. So it's taking that moment to breathe, settle into your body, regulate, and then that radiates from you, the electromagnetic field from your heart is 3 feet. So you're
Okay.
actually sharing that coherence and helping others regulate too. So it's very powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. I do a lot of work with teams, and I just always find that this stuff becomes so infectious. Like one person's dysregulation will just infect the rest of the group. But the reverse is true. Like one person's calming like energy, right, can have this calming effect on other people. So it's the idea that it's not just you. You can actually impact the people you're working with and the people that you're interacting with.
Yeah. And when you see somebody losing it, you can actually, intervene and say, let's just take a moment. I know it sounds, let's just put our hands on our heart, or let's just breathe and send love, care, and appreciation to this person who's struggling. And that's what we call heart math. So there's an organization that has been researching the heart power for 40 years.
Yeah.
And that's a simple practice. That's a reset practice that we teach as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know we wanted to do an exercise. You want to walk us through what we're going to do here and guide us through the process?
Yeah. So this is called the nitric oxide dump.
Okay.
And it produces nitric oxide, which is it's a gas really, but it's a neurotransmitter.
Okay.
And so what it does is it improves the oxygen going to every cell in your body, increases your circulation, prevents blood clots. So I would have people do this during COVID because COVID affects your clotting ability so much. It increases your strength and endurance, improves erectile dysfunction. It's actually one of the things in Viagra.
Yep.
So that's a big seller for this. That
Another bonus.
It's good for workouts, but it's good for creating positive flow in all your neurotransmitters.
Yeah.
So it's a practice where you do the exercise. There are 4 exercises.
I'm gonna adjust my camera here as we go into the stand-up mode. People can see my ceiling.
And we'll do 10 of each of the 4, and you're supposed to do it really fast. You deplete the oxygen in your system, and that's what allows the nitric oxide to be produced in your body. So the first one is a squat.
Okay.
And I have people count backwards because that's novel stimuli for your brain. So we're just going to count from 10 to 1 and do 10 squats.
Okay.
And engaging all your muscles is really important. So I have my shoulder muscles engaged. I'm really grounding down to the earth with my feet and trying to engage my core as I go into a squat.
Okay.
So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Next are just arm raises. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the next one we call fist pumps. So I have my fists together here, and then I'm going to raise my hands over my head and pump my hands together there. Try to keep your arms as straight as you can and really ground down into the earth and engage all your muscles. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the last one is just a press. And so with this, you want your shoulders back and to try to broaden your back as you do this, pushing your hands up to the sky. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you want to just shake it out. And so you start with 10 and you build up to be able to do 20 of those 4 exercises, and you do them 3 times a day.
3 sets, 2.
3 sets of 2. Okay.
3 sets, 3 times a day.
And in terms of like the breathing, I gotta adjust my camera now. Any breathing?
Yeah. So the exhale,
Okay.
like when my hands go up here, I'm doing my exhale. So it's really the exhale is what brings you into that vagus activation, thrive state. So you really want to focus on your exhales with the exercise.
So really kind of really
As you're
depleting.
squatting, you exhale. As you're pumping,
Your exhale.
And you should be completely emptying like trying to really kind of empty your lungs completely, or like how forcefully, or
I think you have to meet yourself where you are
Yeah.
with all of these exercises. So instead of setting rules that I have to do it a certain way, which may interfere with you doing it,
yeah.
it's just meeting yourself where you are, seeing how your breathing is, and then trying to improve it as you go.
Yeah. So now we should be doing this. You said 4 times a day.
3 times a day.
So 3
But-
times a day. So that full routine, it counts as once.
Right.
Mhm.
And then, so I should be fine. Now, when should I be doing this? Is like, should I be timing it, or do I strategically use this like after a stressful session or before I go into a potential stressful, such a situation?
Well, I think always first thing in the morning.
Okay.
And it does activate you. And so you can think of it as your cup of coffee, or when
Okay.
you need to increase your energy in your
Mhm.
system, it's good. But lunch and dinner, probably before lunch, before dinner, is a
Okay.
simple way to remember.
Yeah.
Or to set a gong on your phone as a reminder that, it's been 2 hours, I should do some type of a reset practice
Yeah.
to counteract and be an antidote to cortisol.
Yeah. And so what's actually happening during this exercise? Kind of walk us through a little bit of the kind of physiology of what we're benefiting from here.
Well, we're using our big muscle groups,
Okay.
and we're doing this very fast. So it depletes oxygen that's going into the cells. And then that's the mechanism that pushes your system to produce the nitric oxide.
Got it.
So nitric oxide is also produced with meditation. So it's a weird neurochemical that we're
Yeah.
just learning more and more about, that it's valuable. There's a program called the Bliss Brain where you layer all of these types of exercises together.
Mhm.
And nitric oxide is one of the neurochemicals that's produced with that, because it does involve meditation. So
Well, I'm interested in the meditation. So this exercise obviously quite physical, right? And it
Right.
feels like you're activating muscles, you're depleting oxygen, like it's active, I guess. Whereas meditation, I feel it's much more deactivating, but they both produce nitric oxide responses.
right, because of how it's changing your parasympathetic nervous
Okay.
system. So if you look at the parasympathetic activators, some of them are meditation and calming things, but some of them are dancing and chanting and yoga and movement and those types of things. So a variety of processes activate the vagus nerve because it innervates our eyes, the back of our throat, our vocal cords,
Mhm.
our heart, our lungs, all our intestinal organs. So it's still kind of a mystery how it all happens, but we're learning that we can manage it instead of just letting stress manage how our body responds to situations.
Yeah. Yeah. I like these. I mean, I like this practice because it's quick, and I don't need the weights, right? I don't need exercise bands. You can kind of do it anytime. It's interesting. I have a morning practice, which is breath work. I do a series of exhale holds and inhale holds, and then I do my meditation. And I find that is my wake up. Like I'll do coffee. I try to wait at least 90 minutes after I wake up before I actually take caffeine. But I find if even if I didn't have a great night's sleep, like if I can get through that 20-minute practice, it really helps just activate, like it gets me thinking and it gets my body going before I kind of get into it, and then I can do my workouts and things like that. But what is are there other practices that you'd recommend? I mean, so this is a nice simple one that you can do during the day. What else, if somebody wants to do a little bit more, what's the next thing that they should think about?
Well, the other one we planned for today to talk about was a gratitude practice.
Okay.
And I think that's another really powerful way to shift, especially if you have like a story that you're ruminating on and it's not a pleasant one. Or if you're in a
Which
situation
one?
where you're a leader and you're in a group and you can tell that they're not, that they're focusing on the negatives, or, stuck in that way. So what I really like teaching about gratitude is, because I know there's so many things out there, just make a gratitude list, write down 3 things that you're grateful for. And you're like, that's wonderful that you're doing that. But if you really want to see the benefits of gratitude, which are all across the body as well, really embodying that gratitude practice. So, pulling up a moment in your life that you're grateful for and recreating that feeling in your body. Or we have a gratitude practice that also uses your breath, and I can demo that really quickly.
Yeah, that's great. Let's do it.
So we can stand up again.
All right.
Yay.
All right. Camera's going back up.
So this one is nice because it involves your breath as well, and movement. So you're moving and you're really focusing. We're going to go through the different energy centers of our body, and we're noticing how the gratitude can actually change the way we feel, and that's how you kind of embody the gratitude. But we're going to start with our legs. We'll inhale each time our arms wide, and then we'll bring them to different parts on our body that I'll tell you. So the first one is our thighs, and this is going to be, I'm grounded in gratitude. So you breathe in, exhale, and you can say, I'm grounded in gratitude. Inhale, deep breath in, hands to your lower belly, and you can say, I'm balanced in gratitude. Inhale, deep breath in, hands to your solar plexus. I'm empowered with gratitude. Inhale, deep breath in, to your hands to your heart. I feel gratitude. Inhale, arms wide, then to your throat. I speak gratitude. Inhale, hands to your forehead or your third eye. I see gratitude. Then you can inhale, arms up, and then to your top of your head, or give yourself a big hug as you say, I am gratitude. We usually do this 3 times as well. It's a nice number, but if you want, or we could just chat about it.
Yeah, let's chat. So what actually happens with gratitude? Oh, I got to get my camera down. Look at my top of my head. So why does this work? I've heard this a lot. I've been various programs. I've done it with some clients. I had one client. We were kind of, I was like, okay, let's list all the things you're thankful for, and one of them was that they were thankful that the session only lasted 60 minutes. but look, what's actually happening when you focus on gratitude? And I like your kind of clarification, or your kind of pushing that you feel gratitude. What's changing physiologically for you?
Well, again, like my mom was talking about, the different like chemical cocktail that you're creating in your body in every given moment, you have some control over. And, a lot of your autonomic nervous system happens so quickly before it's a reaction built in for your protection and safety. But you can also work with your nervous system to, because your nervous system doesn't really speak English or whatever language you speak. It's more feeling based. So even if you say, I am safe, your body may be like, I disagree.
No, we're not.
No, it doesn't feel safe. So how do you work with your body to feel safe? And gratitude is one of the ones that can do that, because you're really focusing on the good parts, the empowering parts, and it does a lot for your mental health, just reducing stress and anxiety, can lower depression symptoms, and enhance your resilience, mood regulation. It lowers blood pressure, risk of heart disease, better sleep. So they're all of those things are combined. When you have better sleep, you have a better day the next day. So when you're doing these things, they start layering, and it's like a feedback loop, feeding itself more good energy, basically.
Yeah, it's funny. I know, like, if I'm stressed out, or I just know like I'm not doing well, the first thing I have to do is go to the gym, because if I go to the gym, that means I'm going to sleep better. Right? I'm going to be tired. I'm going to sleep better. And when I sleep better, then I'm going to eat better. Like, I'm not going to be craving the sugars. I'm not going to try to do the 3rd cup of coffee. Right. But I talk a lot with leaders about knowing their ladders. Like when they find themselves in a hole, it's like knowing what your ladder is. Like, what do you do? What's the first rung? And because if you try to jump to the fifth rung on the ladder, you won't be able to make it. Like, you've got to start, like, what's the first thing? And for me, go to the gym, and then it's focus on sleep. And then it's, I can focus on eating better, and then I can do all the other things. I can't show up well, for my clients. I can't facilitate sessions very well if I haven't done those things. So most of my practice, especially when I travel and things like that, that's what I get to the gym, get a good night's sleep, and make sure I eat a breakfast. Because if I don't do those things, like, I'm not going to perform well later. What?
Can I?
Yeah.
So it's a what we call a renewing emotional state instead of a depleting state.
Okay.
And so it improves relationships. So if I look at my daughter or my husband and I appreciate something about them instead of resenting something about it, it's going to change my relationship. It helps us focus. So if we can focus, just like with meditation, if we can focus on gratitude and we set that intention to be grateful, then it's going to help the cogs in the wheel just work better, and help us with decision making, because it's actually one of the words used in HeartMath. You feel love, care, or appreciation for someone, something, or someplace. That appreciation is bringing you into coherence. So that changes you mentally, physically, emotionally, and even spiritually when you can live in a more coherent state.
Yeah. I wanted to kind of comment on something Sarah said around this idea that it's, we can be thinking one thing, but our body can be thinking something or doing something completely different, or be in a very different state. And I use this kind of concept with leaders, which is, I say, how well do you know your elephant? And the model is, we are, if you think of ourselves as being the drivers of elephants, drivers are as their conscious mind, our intellectual, rational mind, and the elephant as being kind of all the emotional, subconscious things that we have going on. It's like, we can nudge it, right? Like, we can do these things that can kind of steer it, but we have this illusion that we have complete control over it. Fact is, we don't, right? And our elephant will go running off and do all sorts of things that we don't want it to do. And in fact, if once it's set on doing something, we probably don't have a whole lot of control other than just kind of hang on and wait until we're back into some kind of regulated state. But knowing your elephant, I think, has been really interesting in that it's like, if I know my elephant tends to go off and eat grass, like, I try to just steer away from places that has a lot of grass, or, doesn't like to get in the water, or like gets into trouble and things. And I can't really stop it if it happens, but I can kind of do things that are going to decrease the likelihood that that's going to be there. And I think a lot of these practices are really helpful in terms of, setting yourself up for success, or setting yourself up for being able to have more chances of being able to kind of manage those situations. And if you know those things about yourself, like, if I do this, if I don't do this for a while, I'm going to be more likely to get dysregulated or be in a situation I can't recover from well. How do you, I guess, when you think about these practices and you think about the sort of the difference between the conscious mind, rational mind, and the body, what else can we do to be better aware of those things and get to have better strategies, or be aware of where our body state is, and choose the things that are appropriate for that? Because I think it's a big challenge for most people. They're just not aware of their body state.
Right. And if we can go into that regulated state on a regular basis, so what we're saying is practice these every 2 hours, then you have that awareness and almost intuition about where to keep my elephant and what my body needs and how to support it. And once you have that connection, that mind-body true connection, then you can use these strategies when you're triggered. So a lot of us try to insert something when we're triggered and we're like, well, that didn't work.
Yeah.
Well, that's because your system hasn't been trained in a way to insert those things when a meeting goes south, or something happens at home with your kids, or the internet doesn't work properly, or whatever. So training regularly with the practices creates that, what it's called a well-being is a skill.
Yeah.
And that's how we actually learn these strategies and can use them, just like you've been training.
Yeah.
Gym, the meditation, all of those things
Yeah.
serve you the more you integrate it in your life.
100%.
I
Sarah?
also want to say that, as we say, this is great to include in parts of your day, but it's definitely not something we ever want people to then be like, oh, I missed it, and really,
Yeah. That's the doubt.
go down that spiral. Like
Yeah.
these are all always helpful in like a regulated state, or to bring yourself back to a regulated state. But if you miss them, that's not. Please don't get dysregulated. It's okay.
Yeah. Well, I'll even go so far as missing them becomes an opportunity to further manage your regulation.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Because it's like, how do we treat ourselves? I mean, I always talk about, people's relationship with themselves. And if you don't have, a good, compassionate, helpful relationship with yourself, in those cases, yeah, you'll beat yourself up and you'll be like, oh, I'm no good. Like, I can never do these things right. Rather than, oh, interesting. Right. Like, how can I use this opportunity to actually, develop a muscle and get myself back on track? Be compassionate, figure out the situation, find the appropriate action to take, get myself back into a more productive state, more regulated state.
You got it.
Yeah.
And the research shows that your vagus nerve is the nerve of compassion.
Yeah.
That's how we're designed. So
Yeah.
activating it is a pretty simple way to create that self-love.
Yeah. Yeah.
That maybe we haven't been taught how to do that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we may have taught when we're quite young, but I think we don't, as adults, we don't do a very good job of it. So,
Right.
But yeah. Sarah and Christine, this has been a pleasure. If people want to find out more about the two of you, about the work that you're doing, what's the best way to get that information?
We have a website. Our business is called Total Being Reset. And so it's just totalbeingreset.com. All of our contact information's on there, our email as well. And yeah, we offer group kind of reset practice learning together. We think it's really important. If you learn the same tools, then you have the same toolkit to pull from in stressful situations. So we're always trying to gear towards groups that work together on a daily basis.
Yeah, that's great.
Families.
So we can do corporate retreats, or we're very flexible in what we can offer, but it's all grounded in this belief that we can change ourselves and have better relationships with those around us and build a strong community.
Yeah. No,
And-
great work. Yeah, good.
Yeah, no, we have a lot of resources on there as well of different practices that you can try, and they're all just on the resource page.
So the nitric oxide dump is on that, as well as other movement activities that may be easier for people than trying to sit and meditate.
I know a couple of people that have tried. Good. I'll encourage everyone here to kind of reach out and check out the content that you have and the resources you have. I really do think this is underutilized, underexplored part of leadership and team and business dynamics. So I really thank you two for being here today. I really appreciate it.
We really appreciate you hosting and having us on. This was great.
Thank you. Everyone that's watching, again, if you're watching the replay, throw in comments, questions, we'll watch those. Thank you for joining us today. And again, Christine and Sarah, thank you for joining us. Take care.